All right, geometry, lesson 14-4. Again, this is still from Algebra 1, but it's the stuff that we missed. This is our last lesson before our test. The test is tomorrow. Everyone should also have a practice test in front of them. All right, who remembers our rule from yesterday? This is copy-pasted from yesterday. This rule and rule in words.
Can I pass some cards?
Oh, yes, please. What's up, Oscar? Oh, you already got it? Yeah. Oscar, go for it.
It's A times B.
A times B.
X.
And then X.
And then N plus N.
N plus M, like that?
Yep.
All right, thank you, Oscar. You can turn in your card as soon as Sam hands it out. Bam, already in. Cool, cool. That's kind of rude.
Oh, sorry.
Jeez. I know that I'm really funny, but you don't have to yawn to show how funny I am. Okay, so the rule in words. This is also from yesterday. Direct copy paste. Caroline.
Multiply the coefficients and add the exponents.
Beautiful. Multiply the coefficients and add the exponents. Perfect. Yeah, thank you, Caroline. And while people are catching up, writing this down, I'm going to pull out our marbles so I can give you more and more marbles. Oscar got a marble. Caroline got a marble. You already got your XP. There's Oscar's marble. Caroline's marble. We are caught up. All right, so. Jade, why?
My throat hurt.
Advanced distributing. I'm going to show you how Mr. Sindel does his distribution of these numbers. 23 times 13. I don't do it this old-fashioned method. The old-fashioned method is going 23, 13. You do it times here. Okay, 3 times 3, 9. 3 times 2, 6. Okay, add a 0, blah, blah, blah. I don't do that. The cooler method is to do this. Write this down. 20 plus 3. Can we all agree that 20 plus 3 is the same thing as 23? This is the part where you wake up by nodding your head so vigorously that your neighbor wonders what's wrong with you. No, none of you are nodding that hard. Come on, nod harder. There it is. Okay, some of you are doing it. 13 is the same thing as 10 plus 3. That's right. It's the tens digit and the ones digit. That's how I'm dividing this up. What I can do now is I can multiply, and I have to be very careful about how I distribute with these two terms. First, I'm going to do 20, and I'm going to distribute into the 10 and distribute into the 3. 20 times 10, can someone help me out with that? What is 20 times 10? Easy XP here. 20 times 10. Martine, 200. Easy XP here. Just get you guys checked off. I want to get as many people participating as possible. What happens when I do 20 times 3? Quiet, raise hand. 20 times 3. Colby. Wait, 20 times 3. There it is. 60. Yes. Thank you, Colby. Another marble. We'll fill this marble jar up in no time. And then I'm going to have to do the distribution of the 3 into both of these terms. The 3, I'm going to do this in green, goes into the 10. So 3 times 10. Quiet, raised hand. Sam. 30. Thank you, Sam. And there's a marble. And then I have to distribute also this 3 times 3. And that was the one that Colby was going to give us. But let's go, Ellery. That is our 9. Thank you, Ellery. There is your XP. And there is your marble. Okay, so obviously when I have binomials times binomials, it's a little bit harder to distribute. If I have a binomial times a trinomial, 3 terms, it gets even more confusing. I'll have 6 lines instead of 4, I think. Yeah, that makes sense. It gets really, really confusing, which is why we have this thing called the box method. For the box method, what I can do is I can put 20 plus 3, this 20 plus 3, on one of the sides. 20 plus 3. And I can do 10 plus 3 on the other side. Fill in the sides first. This is kind of funny that I'm teaching this now because we did the opposite of this for completing the square when we were dealing with last unit's circles. Last unit, we did the opposite, so we filled in the box first, and then we found the sides. Now we're filling in the sides first, and we're filling in the box. This is going forwards now, distributing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do what is the row times the column. So column here times the row here. All right, 4 more volunteers, 4 more marbles, 50 XP apiece, 20 times 10. And you can look to the left. Chewy. Exactly. 200 natural. All right, so we got Chewy is in. His marble's in. I need to do this box to the right. Actually, I'm going to do this bottom one. Sorry. Bottom box down here. Anna. 60. Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Yes. So, just checking on what's going on. And top right. Leo. There it is. 30. Leo is now in. I have his card. And finally, bottom right. Go for it, Caroline. Oh, thank you. 9. Thank you, Caroline. Not Caroline. What am I saying? Emily. Going too fast here.
Oh, okay, so.
Notice how these numbers, Jaden, are the exact same numbers that we have over here. 200, 200, 60, 60, 30, 30, 9, 9. It's the same method, just a little bit more organized. Next year, for those of you that are taking Algebra 2, we are only going to be using this box method. This box method is really nice when we do a binomial times a trinomial, let alone a trinomial times a trinomial. It is a lot more organized. Also, do this in your boxes. Everyone write this down now. This little line here. Draw that line in your notes. This is to tell you, and this generally happens if you set up your problem correctly, that these two will be like terms when we deal with polynomials. 60 plus 30. Jane, please stop. 60 plus 30 is 90, so I have 200, and then I have 90, and then I have to add that with 9 for a total of, quiet raised hand, I basically just said it. What do all of these four add up to? What do all of these four add up to, Oscar? $2.99. For the low price of $2.99.99. I have no idea what's going on with Aurelio. Hopefully he's not having some seizure or something. Okay, we're going to go down to our FOIL and box method. So both of these methods of advanced distribution, doing the yellow and the green versus the box method, both of those are methods you can choose. I'm giving you two tools. You get to choose one or the other. Why would you give me two tools, Mr. Sindel? Well, I'll tell you why. This FOIL method is really, really powerful for the SAT. SAT is a timed test where they will never give you a binomial times a trinomial. They'll only do a binomial times a binomial. The fastest way to do that, since the SAT is timed, is FOILing. For my class, I prefer the box method. So if you have to choose one over the other, do the box method, even though it is slower. It will set you up for Algebra 2. In Algebra 2, we're going to be doing crazy things with complex numbers and trinomials where the box method has to keep us organized. Are we good? Know both of them, because a lot of you are taking SAT, a lot of you are going to be taking Algebra 2. You know which one goes where. Both are tools. FOIL stands for, it's an acronym, it's FIRST, F-I-R-S-T. O stands for outer, O-U-T-E-R, outer. I stands for inner. And L stands for last, L-A-S-T. Acronym means I'm just taking the first letters of each of these words. So this acronym is a checklist of things I need to do to make sure I don't accidentally do the same thing twice or to make sure I don't forget one of the steps. First, that means I'm going to take the first two terms and I'm going to multiply them. 2x times 3x. I'm going to need 4 more volunteers and then a 5th volunteer to add them all together. I need 5 volunteers, 5 people getting XP, 5 chances to get your card in. 2x times 3x. Quiet raised hand. Cheyenne? Careful. 2 times 3? Yeah, there it is. 6x. So this was to the power of 1, and power of 1, I add the exponent 6x. Perfect, yes. Thank you, Cheyenne. I have your card in. All right, that I can check off on my list. First, yes, I've done that. Check it off. Outer. Now I'm going to do the outer numbers, 2x and 4. So I need to now distribute this direction. Outer. 2x times 4. Quiet raised hand. Beverly. Plus 8x. Thank you. All right, Beverly just got her XP, and I forgot to do the marble for Cheyenne. So there's Cheyenne. There is Beverly. All right, now I need to do the inner. These inner two numbers right here. -1 and 3x. Who can multiply those for me? -1 times 3x. Who can do it? -1 times 3x. I see no hands. Uh-oh. Do we not know how to do -1 times 3x? Yeah, Atziri, go for it. There it is, -3x. Thank you, Atziri. Go a little bit higher here. Chunk, chunk. And finally, I need to do the last two numbers. So last number here, last number here. I'm going to do -1 times 4. That's nice and easy. Who's going to get that easy XP? That money? Go for it, Lorea. -4x like that. Careful.
Just -4. Good.
Yeah, so there were no x terms. It was just a -1 times 4, so it is indeed -4. I'm going to give it to you, though. Thank you, Lorea. And Marble. And I'm going to give Aurelio some XP because he's helping her out. Where are you? Oh, let's go over here. Aurelio. Helping others. Thank you.
Do I not have any more negatives?
You are now back to even, Aurelio. Good job.
-3.
All right. I'm not done.
Why do you do
Even though I did FOIL, I'm not done. I have like terms. What were like terms again, Mr. Sindel? That's what we just spent the last 2 days on. Or I guess not yesterday, but 2 days ago, Monday and Tuesday. Lesson 14.1 and 14.2, like terms. There are 2 like terms in here. Can someone identify which of these terms are like and then add them for me? Sam, you still have your hand up? Or the second part of the question got you? All right, Ellery, go for it.
8x and 3x are like terms
Why? Why are they like terms?
because they have coefficients with x and x is not exponent.
Yeah, so you kind of said it a little bit off, but you have the right idea. So they both have x's, as you said, and they both have the same power, this invisible power of 1. I don't actually care about the coefficients at all. Yeah, same letter, same power. Perfect. That is the reason that they're like terms. And then, Ellery, can you finish this off by adding these for me?
So you have 5x.
5x. Perfect. And I need to rewrite everything else as well. I still have that 6x squared, so I'm going to bring this 6x squared down. 6x squared. I'm going to bring this -4 down, -4. And since this was a positive 5x, I'm going to make this a plus in between here to keep all of these terms separated. Remember, terms are separated by pluses or minuses. And now that I've simplified, I have my final answer. I will box it. Thank you, Ellery. Boom. All right. So that is the method of FOIL. We saw that method once before, doing it up here, but now I'm formally defining it as called foiling. You've seen it before. You can use it on any example that you want. I'm going to do the box method on this polynomial, this binomial multiplication problem. Who can help me set up the box? It's very similar to setting up the box up here. Who can help me set up the box for method 2? Yeah, India.
The top 2 boxes, you're going to have 2x in one box and -1 in the other box. And then on the other side, you're going to have 3x in one box and 4 in one box.
Beautiful. Yeah, thank you for setting that up, India. 50 XP and marble. Cool. All right. I need one magical volunteer to do all 4 of these boxes for me. Who thinks they got it? Go for it, Anna.
So the top left is 6x squared, and then 8x, and then 3x, -3x, and then -4.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you, Anna. 50 XP and a marble. All right. I forgot to make that little mark on my box. My little mark that says these 2 terms should be like terms. Generally speaking, that's true unless you maybe mix up the order of the sides, or maybe one of them was a squared instead of an x. But generally speaking, for our unit, these 2 are going to be like terms. So I can write the full answer right out here at the same time without having to do this simplification step. So just give me the final full answer. Adding up these boxes, I'm just adding all the gray area right now. Who can do that? Add the 4 gray boxes. Just one person, 2 people. Go for it, Beverly.
6x squared plus 5x.
There it is. And box it. Thank you, Beverly. All right. So we have our 2 methods. We get to choose whatever 2 methods we want to do. And we have a total of 4 examples. So let's do example 1 right now. I need to multiply these 2 binomials. I need someone to choose what method to do and do the first step for that method. You get to choose either method, whatever one you prefer. Do you like going fast or do you like being organized? Who's it going to be? Choose a method for us. Yep.
Please, my promise.
I do appreciate the please next time. Thank you, Aurelio, for trying to enforce the positive behavior. All right. Anyone? India?
I'd like to do the box method.
Box method, okay. So, by the way, the easiest way to create a box is to first create a rectangle, slightly longer or slightly wider than it is tall, and then once you make that, then add the lines to it. It makes it much easier to draw the box. All right, and then you're going to do the first step for the box for us as well, India.
Okay, so it's going in the top two. It's going to be x and -2, and then top the side's going to be -7x, and then 3.
Yes, thank you. Barely made it through that one. Okay. And thank you for the setting up of the box method. I need one volunteer to do the multiplication of that entire box. Who is it going to be? Who can do all of the multiplication? I only have 2 people to choose from. I guess I'll go with Ellery.
So we'll have -7x squared, and then to the right you'll have -14, or positive 14x, and then you'll below that 3x, and then to the right you'll have -6.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you. All right, I'm going to make my little mark in here to say those two should be like terms. I need someone to give me my final answer. Who can add up the inside of the box to give me my final answer? All right, Anna, go for it.
So -7x plus 17x minus.
You made one tiny mistake. I'll let you see if you can find it.
Squared 7.
There it is. Yeah, good job. And there's our final answer. All right. I want you guys to work within your groups to do example 2 and 3. And if you want to do example 4 as well, you can. I want to help you with example 4 right now. Let's skip right to it. I want to get it set up. Whenever I have a square, that's really saying something unique. For example, if I had 7 squared, you don't need to write this down if you don't want. If I have 7 squared, that's the same thing as 7 times 7. Similarly, binomials squared will be a minus 6 times the quantity of a minus 6. This I do want you to write down right now. Whenever I have a square, I really have 2 of those terms. I do want to talk about example 4 as a class, but for now, examples 2, 3, and 4, I want you guys to work on your own with people around you to solve these binomial multiplication problems. All right, good luck. All right, so the answer for number 2 should have been 72y squared, and then it's going to be a negative, I'm going to just FOIL this really quickly in my head. So I got a 40y minus 36y minus 20, which reduces down to 72y squared plus 4y minus 20. There's the final answer to check your work against. This one is going to be, come on now, n squared minus 16, and this one is going to be a squared minus 12a plus 36. The reason that I can do example 3 and example 4 very fast is because this is the same number but at an opposite sign. It's called a conjugate pair, and this one is a square. In Algebra 2, you will learn how to do these about as fast as I can do them, and maybe even faster. But there are special rules that are happening here. 2 special things that I need to talk about. 1, sometimes it doesn't turn into 3 terms. Normally you do get 3 terms. 3 terms. 3 terms, 3 terms. In rare cases, you can get 2 terms. And the other thing that I want to say, this is probably the most important thing I want you to maybe, well, is it the most important thing that you should take away from today? I think the box method is the first most important thing to take away from today. The second most important thing is this. If I have a plus b squared, This does not equal a squared plus b squared. This is the one thing I want you to write in your notes. You cannot just distribute this square into each of these terms. My math teacher, when I was in high school, had this awesome poster that maybe I can one day afford to print out and find or something that says every time that you do this, where you say that these two are equal to each other, if you say a squared plus b squared, every single time that you do this, a kitten dies. Don't ever do this. Don't kill kittens. Never ever do this. Make sure that you have this inequality. This can never ever happen. And it's the most common error when squaring binomials. Don't ever do this. Write it in your summaries. Write it 1,000 times if it takes it. Don't do this. Yes, Anna.
So does it become A plus B plus A plus B?
You're really, really close. If you actually want the rule, this does indeed equal, it's the a squared and the b squared. So it does equal these two added up. But the extra thing is you have to have an additional 2ab. This is the forgotten thing in that equation. All right, and that is going to be the end of the notes. So go ahead and write your summaries. This needs to be rewritten at least twice in your notes. Here in the notes or just in the summary, I guess maybe. But it needs to be somewhere in your notes. Don't make that mistake. And maybe you want a box method or write out what the acronym FOIL means for your summary. Have something cool in your summary. There are 2 homework assignments tonight.
Why?
I was about to ask that myself, but that is a great transition. Why do we have 2 homework assignments? Because if we go to our unit guide, we have a test tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
You have a practice test,
Oh, yeah.
which means you have homework and a practice test. 2 homework assignments, 200 points tonight. If you do not do the practice test, you are shooting yourself in the foot. It is going to be the exact same test with switched numbers.
Are you talking about
How many questions are on the practice test?
we're not talking
How many-
about those things?
How many questions are on the practice test? Someone yell it out.
I just can't remember.
14.
There will be 14 questions on the test. If there are 4 questions about adding and subtracting, there will be 4 questions on adding and subtracting on the actual test. Most of you still have a ton of time today. We get out on a Thursday at 9:43. You have over 13 minutes left to do the homework and practice the test. Please turn in whatever work you have done.